So hi there, good morning. In this video I'm going to go over the last test and try to do it as explicitly as possible so that maybe by doing that you'll have a little bit better understanding of Java and how to take tests in Java in the future. So with that, let's get started. So here was the test. It says, please create a class called dog in BlueJ that will, in a very simplistic way, represent a dog. The class will have 4 methods, right? So we know we need 4 methods and 3 fields. Well, that's good information. Now, next I tell you exactly what the fields will do. The fields will store a dog's age in an int, a variable of type int, the dog's name in a variable of type string, and the dog's gender in a variable of type char. All right, we'll do that in just a second. The first method will be a constructor, the special constructor method that is used to set up an object of a class when it's first made. And generally the constructor is used to set these fields to starting values, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. And should have 3 parameters, those special variables that are used to pass information into a method that allow the user to provide initial values for the 3 fields. Okay? The second method will print the information in the fields, but instead of printing M or F for the dog's gender, an if statement should be used to print out either male or female. That sounds pretty straightforward. So I'm going to be seeing if that gender variable contains an F, and if it does, I'll print out female, and if it contains an M, I'll print out male. Okay. The third method will add 1 to the dog's age. Well, that couldn't be simpler. All right, we just, whatever this variable is, the dog's age variable, we just add 1 to it. And in Java, you can do that with just ++, the variable name ++. The fourth method will have an integer parameter. Again, that special type of variable used to pass information into a method, which will take in a number indicating how many times the dog should bark. Okay, using a while loop, have the word bark printed the number of times of the passed in integer parameter. So we're going to need a while loop here that will just count until if we're going up, until we reach the parameter value, the integer value that was passed in, or if we're counting down, we'll start at that parameter and go down to 0. Okay, so that's the test. So we're going to do this in BlueJ. I could make a new project, but BlueJ doesn't care if you make as many classes as you want, even if they're unrelated within one project. So I'm just going to make a new class within this project. So I click on New Class, and I'm going to call it Dog. Class name should always start with a capital letter. And say OK. And there's my dog class. I'm going to open it up and just resize it, this window, so it fits within the screen capture area that I'm using. Okay. I'm going to get rid of most everything here. Okay, public class dog. Now, let's go back to our test. Okay, let's start with the fields. We need 3 fields, an integer for the age, name for the string, and a char for the gender. Okay, fields are always defined first with private because we only want access to them from the class, not from other classes, which could come in and mess them up. The first one is an int. Notice how int turned red, right? Int is short for integer. And we'll call this age. And notice it's not capitalized because the convention is you don't capitalize variable names. Okay, we've got another private string. Notice string is a little different. It's because strings are not primitives like integers, they're objects. Notice the capital S, just like capital D in dog. A string is a class, and therefore it is not turned into red like the integer, which is a primitive. Okay, string, and this is the dog's name. And another private And this is char. This will turn red. That's a primitive. Char is a single character. Char short for character. And we'll call this gender. Okay, so we've got our fields defined. Awesome. Okay, so now we need our constructor. And constructors are public because other classes may need to use them. And they have no return type, so you just write public and then the name of the class, so dog in this case. And this has three things passed into it. It has an age, which I'll do like, I'll just do capital. No, I'll do age temp. Excuse me. And so this is going to be the age that we're going to set this. When we make a dog object from this dog class, when we make that dog, we're going to supply an age for the dog, and we're going to supply a name temp. And we keep these variables, parameter variables, cannot be the same name as the fields, or Java gets confused. It doesn't know which we're talking about. That's why I'm throwing that temp at the end. You can throw anything there, it doesn't matter, just as long as they're not the same. And we do char, and that's gender temp. Okay, so think of those as like little slots in a mailbox almost, that when this dog gets created, we can put in those slots what values we want this dog to have. Okay, so now we just have to set the fields equal to those parameters. So we say age equals age underscore temp, semicolon. And then we say name equals name underscore temp. And I bet you can get this one, gender equals gender underscore temp. Cool. That's it for the constructor. So we've moved the three parameter values into the fields where we want them so that they're accessible for the rest of the program, which are the methods we're going to right now. So the second method will print the information. So these are all public. All methods except the constructor need a return type between the word public and the name of the method. So in this case, we don't really need to return anything, so we're going to say void, meaning we need Java, you tell us we need a return type, but I don't really have anything to return here, so since I've got to put something, I'm just going to put void, meaning nothing. And we'll just do print dog info. Okay, doesn't need anything passed into it. There's nothing parameter, because all we're going to do is print out what's in the fields. Right? And so we do system.out.println. And I'm going to copy that because we're going to use that for the other ones. And we're going to do here age equals then plus and the variable age. Okay? And now I paste that and we do name equals plus name. Right? Name, and it's important to put the space inside of the quotation marks, otherwise we won't actually get a space. And finally, no, this one I said we need an if statement because we don't want to print out just M or F for the dog's gender, so we're going to say if the variable gender equals F. Notice the double equal sign, very important. Then we're going to do system out println. We'll just do female. Okay, just like that. Keep it simple. Else, okay, you know what you're going to do. System out println. Male. Okay. Now, if I needed to do more than one line, if gender equals F, which means if gender equals F, then I would do braces, right? Whenever you need to do more than one line, you do braces. But in this case, you don't need it if you only have one line inside your if or your else. That's true with the while loops and for loops too. If there's only one line inside of them, you don't need braces. But if there's more than one line, you need braces. Okay? Cool. So I think that's done. But the cool thing about computers is when I run this and test it, it will tell me if I've made a mistake. So I don't need to worry about it too much because I'm going to test it. Okay, my third method, public void add year, no parameter. This just adds a year to the dog's age. This was a kind of a giveaway on the test. So we just do age plus plus, right? Means, which is the same, right? This is Java's comment, so anything after that is ignored by Java. We could have written age equals age plus 1, right? Remember, with assignment statements, which is the single equal sign, whatever's to the right is first evaluated by the compiler, and then that value is put into whatever's in the left. So in this case, it takes whatever the existing age is, adds 1 to it, and then replaces what's in age with that new value that it just calculated. Okay? And that's it for that method. Notice how I'm taking the time to get everything lined up. It's really important that you do this because it just helps you keep your code organized if you take the time to make everything nice and neat and indented correctly. Okay, our third method, probably the most interesting one here, is another void method, arc. And this one takes in an integer value representing how many barks, right? You can call that whatever you want. And so let's count down here. It's the easiest way to do this. You know what? Let's count up, just so you can see the use of a local variable here. So we define a local variable, which something like int count, and we'll make it to start off with 0. Okay? And that local variable only exists within the method, right? And you can define as many variables as you need to accomplish whatever task it is that you have to accomplish. But we just need one here. So then we write while count is less than how many barks. Let's just make sure we've got this right. So if a person passes in 1, count starts out at 0, so 0 is less than 1, so we'll do this once. Then presumably we're going to do something inside the loop that increments count. It's incrementing, right? Adds 1 to it. And then so count would be equal to 1. 1 is not less than 1, so it would only bark once. So that looks good. Remember, whatever is in this condition here, just like whatever condition you have here in the if statement, it has to evaluate to either true or false, right? So what we'll do, as long as count is less than how many barks, we're going to system out println bark. Okay, semicolon, and can't forget to increment count plus plus. And I believe that is all we need. We just make sure we need to now do all our braces correctly. That brace ends the method. And we need one more brace to end the class. Oops. Good. And let's see if that compiles. Oh, I forgot a semicolon there. Right? I made that. That's just an illustration. Class one too many braces. Good trick, if I click next to a bottom brace, it shows me the matching top one. So that one matches that one matches that one, and that one matches that one. Cool. Compile. Excellent. We're good. So we'll just close that. We'll make a new dog. Now, we need to supply these three values because that's what we set the constructor up to ask for. So we'll say the dog is 4. And the dog's name, we used to have a dog named Snowy from Tintin. Snowy. Notice you have to put, if you're entering a string, you have to put quotation marks around either side of it, okay? And then a char. In a char, you need to enter single quotes. So Snowy was a male. Okay? And good. And there's our dog object. And now we're going to go print dog info. Snowy is 4. Name is Snowy, and Snowy was a male. Excellent. Okay. Let's add a year, and then call print dog info. Oh, Snowy's now 5. Good. And let's do bark. And we'll say we're going to bark 5 times. Snowy barked a lot. Snowy was a barker, so we'll do 8 times. And there's 8 barks. Okay? Now, one thing I noticed doing this, you could, and some of the people in the test actually did this, you could make this a little bit better by saying, using an or here, which is the 2, like that. It's right above the return key. Or gender equals F. Oops, single quote. Right, and do the same. Actually, that's all you need. And that way, if the user types in capital F, it's still good. Okay? So I hope that helps you. If you do have questions, right? Any questions about Java, if you need extra help, just send me an email and we'll set up a time to do an extra help session. Okay? Thanks. Bye.